The Timmy Chang Show on ESPN Honolulu, KHI, and KHON2 is brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health, HCAMP, Enjoy Snacks, HGEA, Hawaiian Financial Federal Credit Union, Ruby Tuesday, IBEW Local 1186, PVT Land Company, Popeyes, Castle Resorts and Hotels, and Hawaii USA Federal Credit Union.
Game time in Manoa. Touchdown, Hawaii! All right, welcome to the Timmy Chang Show. I'm John Veneri from KHON2 and ESPN Honolulu. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big hand for former record-setting quarterback and head coach of your Rainbow Warriors, Timmy Chang. I know you guys have been hard at work, Coach, but let's start off with fall camp. You finished it a week ago. The gang is back into school. How did fall camp go? Did you get what you needed to accomplish done?
Yeah, I think so. I think it really started back in January, John. I think these guys had the best off season, and when you face adversity, I think you go two ways, right? You either succumb to it or you find ways to be better. And I think our group of guys took it upon themselves, including our staff. They really did a great job of just learning from the past 3 years and understanding of what our goals are set on, understanding what we need to do to get through some of these games. So competitive in a lot of these games in the last 3 years and so close, but these guys are hungry and it really started in January. But as you said, to training camp, they couldn't wait to put the pads on, and here we are. A couple days out from our first game, and so you can imagine how excited these guys are.
Here at Ruby Tuesday, we want to let everybody know you can call in or text in at 808-296-1420. So join in. This show is interactive. You can do that. And then it's not interactive when it hits television on KHI on Thursday at 6 p.m. and on KHON2 at 8 p.m. on Friday. You're entering your fourth year. How are you doing? How are your butterflies?
Yeah,
do you still get butterflies?
Yeah, of course.
Or does it turn into something else?
No, as a coach, you really get the same players, same feeling as a player. But now it's not you. It's your guys, the guys that you're in the trenches with day in and day out, with your staff, and you still get the feeling and that excitement. I know our coaches felt it. They had a different energy about them. Our guys had a different energy about them. For myself, going to the fourth year, from year as a lot of guys said to me in the first weeks of taking the coaching job, you're drinking out a fire hose, and that was exactly right. I know what they meant, right? But when you're here now, going into year four, you understand the lay of the land. You understand the state. You understand, where some of the difficult things lie, what we're really good at, maybe not so good here, and then you kind of just navigate and you really play to your strengths. And where people find less opportunity, we look for opportunities to capitalize on. And so it's been unbelievable. It's been an unbelievable journey, and I'm so appreciative and grateful for it.
You've done a great job of keeping your coaching staff. We're going to talk with one of your new coaches and someone that's very familiar to the program in just a bit. That's Coach Chad Kapanui. But let's jump right into it. What's on the playlist today is we're going to break down every position. It's depth chart. We did this last year. And so we're going to start with quarterback. Let's start with Micah Alejado, a kid that showed everybody a little something last year against New Mexico and had everybody wanting more.
Sure. It starts with Micah, and special individual. He to me, I'm very fortunate, and Coach Chad will say the same thing. We're very fortunate to work with a guy that is very excited about football. He looks at football differently. And when you do that and kind of understand what everybody's job is, how to attack, what he does well, and what he needs to do for the team to succeed, and he puts the team first, it's been pretty amazing. And so I really, God works in great ways. And so for Micah to have the game that he's had and kind of show won the state about who he is as a player. He also showed the locker room, and so what he's just built on from that one game was just an off season where he just took command. He took command of the offense. He grew. He led. He's very vocal. He's very demanding of guys. But more importantly, he's more demanding of himself. And I think that's where his excellence lies.
Let's take a look at the depth chart. This is the quarterback position. Alejado at the top, QB1, named earlier. Well, we knew that was coming in. There was a competition there. Luke Weaver is number 2, and Demarcus Davis, the transfer from UCLA, is sitting in that 3rd spot. No, you can go probably either Luke Weaver. But tell me a little bit about Luke.
Yeah, Luke is a great individual. He knew the role in which he was coming into. Micah again had a great game. We recruited Luke off of junior college film. He went up against he played at Modesto Junior College, and he beat San Mateo, who's one of the top teams in California JUCO. And when he did that, it kind of, to me, it said, hey man, there's a competitor there. And we really like what he does. He's a solid backup, man. He learns. He's kind of better. He just kind of watches Micah take. He's taking visual reps. The reps that he gets, he makes them count. And so really solid number 2.
Guys they're throwing to, let's take a look at the slot back position. 2 guys that have been named to the preseason all-conference team. On one side, let's take a look at that depth chart. On one side, you'll have Pofele Ashlock. You've got Tama Uliata and Koa Eldridge. On the other side, Nick Senecal, Blaze Komoku, and Kainoa Carvalho. A lot of people know him as Kai Kai. And then occasionally there's a Titan Lockett thrown into there, another Crusader thrown into the mix there. He'll play in a couple of different positions. Just your quick thoughts on the slot back position.
I mean, what a great room. I mean, those 2 guys at the top, Pofele and Nick, they grew within our program. They're in year 4 with us, and so they know what we want. They're solid. You're going to see a lot of them, and they're really good. What I really liked was you saw 3 Hawaii born and raised offensive players of the year in there with Kai Kai, Ty, and Tama.
That is a great point. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, right? That's what it's about. So we go and get them. We go and get them from wherever we can get them, but we're homegrown as well. But you're going to see a lot of those 2 slot backs at the top with Pofele and Nick leading with experience.
Occasionally you'll switch the tight end into this position of the slot back. So let's take a look at the wideouts and tight ends. You've got Jackson Harris, who played 9 games over 2 seasons at Stanford. I know he's chomping at the bit to play against his former team. You got Pofele's brother, Dino Heimuli. And on the other side, you got the Jet, Brandon White, Carson Papunu, Max Ware, and Frank Abreu. One of the very many Frank Abreus that are living today. But this is a great spot as well.
Yeah, that number 1, I think Hawaii's going to love this kid. He's coming from Cincinnati, Ohio, by way of University of Kentucky. Dynamic player. He runs a 10-3, guys. And so anytime we can put the ball in his hands, he's going to be special. Jackson Harris from Stanford by way of Berkeley, California. Excited about him. Just a savvy, big receiver. You'll get a lot of him. And then the one that I love is Carson Papunu, born and raised Maui boy, Lahaina Maui. And man, he's as solid as they come, man. He's going to play special teams. He'll catch a lot of balls. He'll block. He'll do all the dirty grime work. But he's one that I love.
Okay, we're going to take a look at the running backs and offensive line in our next segment, as well as the defense. We just want to remind everybody that the Timmy Chang Show is also available on K-High on Thursday at 6 and on Friday at 8 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. This is the Timmy Chang Show.
This is the Timmy Chang Show, presented by ESPN Honolulu, K-High, and KHON2.
All right, back here at Ruby Tuesday, John Veneri with the coach, Timmy Chang. And again, you can go ahead and text us in. 808-296-1420 is the number to call or text. We've got some coming through, but we've got a lot to get through, so we will get to your text messages in just a couple of segments. Want to say thank you to everybody that's joining us on ESPN Honolulu Live on the radio, which you can do every Wednesday at 7 p.m. preceding a home game. That's where we're at. This is where the party's at. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Really appreciate it. Let's jump back into the wide receivers and tight ends depth chart real quick because, as I mentioned, a slot back will be removed and a tight end will be placed in.
Sure.
And you've got some talent there.
Yeah, Devin Tauwefa is a big kid. Again, year 4, has grown into the position. We love him. Again, another local boy. And then Oki Salavea, he's been awesome for us and also has grown into the position originally from American Samoa. So love those two.
I wanted to put Frank Abreu's name up there. I know he's just a freshman, but just because I played with one of his uncle Frank, his dad is a Keola, but there's actually 10 Frank Abreu's out there, something like that. I think there might be actually more than that, but they're saying 10.
And he's a good one.
Yeah.
He's a good one.
Yeah. No,
watch him grow within the program. He is a really good tight end.
One of my other teammates has a son playing. Gosh, that means I'm old. Wait. You're getting there.
Well, I'm coaching my
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're coaching him.
So one of my other teammates, Travis Sims, his son Landon Sims is a beast, and he's playing running back, and he looks really good. I've been saying this throughout camp that he's one of the guys that I think just looks like he has progressed. I didn't think he could get any bigger or faster, but he has.
Yeah, he does it all for us, and more importantly, he's a true leader. Love him, love what he brings to our program, and he does everything. There's no job too big, no job too small. He just wants to get it done. He's a very serious guy, but big soft teddy bear underneath that guy. And then Cam Barfield here, he does everything for us too. He's our slasher, and when you get the ball in a guy's like that's hands, he's going to be dynamic.
All right, let's take a look at the offensive line, because coming into the season, I think this was the place that had the most question marks. It's led by Zen Sotelo there at left guard. He was just recently named team captain along with Peter Manuma, but you've got guys there that can do the job. Dean Brisky, Ethan Spencer at center, Kuaupe Hopa at right guard, and James Milovale at right tackle. There is guys there that can move around and play different positions.
Sure, yeah, that inside is solidified by Hawaii boys with Ethan and Zen and Kuau, and guys that have gotten reps and have really game time experience. Right there, you see Dean Brisky from American Samoa that transferred back over. That moved from defensive line to offensive line. He's a good one. He just hasn't had the experience yet, but you're going to see a lot of him this year. And then James Milovale, one of our anchors there at right tackle in Micah's backside. So looking forward to watching those guys perform on Saturday.
Since we're in the trenches, let's stay in the trenches with the defensive line. Man, this group is deep, and there are some talented players in this group.
Yeah,
we'll keep it up as long as we can. But go ahead.
No, there are Tariq Jones, is an anchor with Jackie Johnson and Lester and El Akana coming back home. We're excited about those 4 DNs right there. They bring a lot of versatility, a lot of experience inside there. And then we did go out to go get and replace in the D tackle room 4 or 5 guys. That are transfers from there. The guy I like is Carson. He's been
Stocklinski. We're gonna have to get used to saying that name, Carson Stocklinski.
Yeah, he's different, and he plays different, and he just takes the game a little differently. The other one that pops up is Dejan Ben. And so he's been a year off of football, but man, did he have a great offseason. He's been with us since January.
And he transferred in.
Yeah, he transferred from USC and also New Mexico. So,
yeah. Okay. Let's just jump back to a couple yards into the linebacker room. That is another great depth position, and there's a lot of guys obviously led by Jemai Otis, and on the other side, Jalen Smith.
Yeah, 2 veteran linebackers for us. Both are guys that are going to put their foot in the ground, come downhill, and can run sideline to sideline. They are the epitome of what we want in football players, and what we want our team to be like and hold the standard. And so that's a good room. And I'm excited for those guys to go out there and go and play. But they're definitely athletic guys that can run the field and chase down guys.
Not to mention the fact they've got to deal with Chris Brown.
Yeah, that's a good coach to play for.
Yeah,
that's a good coach to play for, and he's got those guys rolling. And Wyndon Ho'ohuli is a guy that we moved into that position
I like
group
that.
as well, and we're excited about Wyndon. And Gio has come in, and he was with Coach Brown at Bishop Gorman, and so just some guys, and again there's a great crop of Hawaii guys that are that are in the waiting, that are developing in that room that you'll see for years to come.
Love this. I'm getting excited. How about you guys? You guys getting excited yet? Well, good. We're going to continue on with the safety room. We just mentioned Captain Peter Manuma, also named a captain this year. Kilina Himendiola Jensen. You've got Thompson, Moore, Sinclair, that is, Juju Smith. That's Jalen's brother. And just another deep group.
Yeah, newly dad Peter Manuma. Number one, I love how he plays, man. You just know that he's a difference maker when you watch him play, run around, cover guys, play downhill in the box. Kilinahe will be a great addition to us, as well as Matangi here. Matangi is a guy that, again, been in the system for 4 years, and so we expect big things out of him if something happens, and excited about those guys in the back end.
At cornerback, Verdell Edwards is back. Jaheim Wilson-Jones is on the other side. Another group that we're excited about. Verdell Edwards looks like he could play linebacker at most colleges across the country. You've got him at corner.
Yeah, he didn't miss last year, and so he's excited to come back and lead that group. Jaheim's been with us for a while now, and excited about him. DK Devin is also another veteran guy, and so Coach DT Dennis Thurman has some guys to work with that he's been familiar with, as well as Coach BJ.
Are you excited about this group? Are you excited about the defense?
I am, and if Coach DT was here, he would say the same thing, that he's excited about these guys, it being within the system another year, and just watching them this offseason, their communication, their understanding, their buy-in. The thing that we would love to just see is them just go out there and perform.
I don't have video of them, but Kansei Matsuzawa is back at place kicking. He's going to be kicking the field goals, and I'll tell you what, he has grown into that position. We've seen him boot some during scrimmages from far. But I wanted to get to this. You have the third oldest guy in college football from Australia. He's 29 years old. He's your punter.
Sure, he's
a freshman.
Yeah, I just walked by him in the hallway, going to his car just a little while ago, and his story is so unreal.
I know we might not even have time to say it.
He might be the best barber on the team as well.
Really?
Oh yeah, he kicks the ball with 2 feet. With both legs and very accurate, and so he's pretty dynamic and special. The one person we didn't talk about was Elijah Palmer here.
Yeah.
At the nickel position. He's dynamic as well when he has to cover a third slot and come in and fit on the runs too. So Kansei as well as the other guys, they've been really good.
Kickoffs have been great. We are definitely going to be talking or seeing a lot about them as the weeks roll on. Up next, though, folks, QB1 joins us. It's freshman quarterback Micah Alejado. This is the Timmy Chang Show, folks. How about a big hand for Coach Timmy? He'll be back in a couple of segments.
This is the Timmy Chang Show, presented by ESPN Honolulu, K-High, and KHON2.
All right, welcome back. Our next guest, and I love this. We put up the tail of the tape of Micah Alejado. He ended last season with his first start, a game in which he set a new freshman record with 469 yards passing and 5 touchdowns, and it was the second highest in college football in 2024. Named Conference Player and Freshman of the Week. And take a look at this. In Week 14, he led all quarterbacks in passing. Well, we have that. There we go. All quarterbacks in passing, including that guy, Sanders, and San Jose State quarterback Egit. We welcome in Micah Alejado. How about a big hand for Micah?
Thank you, guys.
Okay. You got everyone excited. You got everyone lit up, and it was just too bad that was the last game. But now you have the opportunity to do that and more. Mm-hmm. Are you feeling it? How are you feeling?
It's like everybody. I'm excited. The team's excited, and just coming off that last game, I think Coach Chang mentioned it. We are just excited. The excitement is building up throughout the whole locker room ever since January, and we've been itching to get back on the field. So Saturday, it can't come soon enough for us.
He's tempering his excitement. He's just holding it in. I love this. The energy is there, but I know this is your offense to lead.
Yeah, I mean, It is my offense to lead, but we have a lot of leaders in offense, and it makes it so much easier for me. We have Pofele and Nick at the receiver spot, and, Zen's taking a great charge of that O-line, and, we've Landon and Cam at the running back spot like we've seen. So, all those guys are taking charge this offseason, and, offense looks great.
You've been working really hard. What has this fall been like for you? Because, like I said, you kind of lit things on fire in that New Mexico game, even in the Utah State game, even though that came in a loss. But against New Mexico, you got everybody kind of going. How much have you progressed, do you think, in this offense? How much have you retained and then gotten better at the quarterback position now?
I think I've grown a lot within this offense, and getting another offseason under my belt with Coach Chang, and
now, because you're still a freshman, what is it like now after having spring and fall camp, an entire summer, and a lot of these guys stayed and worked out with you? What is that like? What is that like for you? Do you feel comfortable now?
I'm really comfortable. It's a great supporting cast around me. All the guys around me, they want it as much as everybody else on the team, and that's the biggest part for us, is just making sure that everybody on the team is as bought in as each other. We don't want to go out there on the field and having one person not as up to tempo as the other guys. So I think our team is doing a great job at holding each other accountable and focusing on the little details this offseason. So I think the team's excited, and we're ready to go out there on Saturday.
I know everybody talks about playing fast, and what that means is that you as a quarterback and your receivers are on the right page, and everybody's kind of clicking and thinking the same thing. If they're running an in route, you're throwing the in route before he gets there. If they're running an out route, you've got it there before they get there. Is that how this is going? Are you guys playing fast now, or is that still going to take some time?
It's the run and shoot. Coach, you just watch Coach Chang highlights. It's going. So the receivers are ready to go up tempo. The O-line's up tempo. That's just how the run and shoot is. And, we've been training for it, and, we're ready to go push the pace this season and, try to go put a lot of points on the board.
You got a couple of coaches' records in that New Mexico game.
I know he hasn't brought it up yet, but I know that conversation.
There's got to be. Well,
once
he's
soon,
still got a couple records, so I'm sure those are sitting in his back pocket waiting for you.
Yeah. I don't want to. I'm not gonna say it. I don't want to say it. I don't. The only record I don't want.
Let's just get the season started first, Micah. Come on.
I don't want the interception record. That's what I don't want.
Okay.
Coach, I'm sorry.
I guess in his defense, though, when you throw as many passes at such a high level,
I know it is tough. It's tough.
I'm just kissing up a little bit. All right, you mentioned Coach Kapanui, and there's no pressure even though he's sitting like 10 feet in front of you.
I know.
What is that like? Because this is a Bishop Gorman relationship, and you knew he was a Hawaii player at one point.
Yeah, the relationship is amazing. Just being able to build, a great relationship the 2 years that we had at Gorman, and it wasn't just the on-the-field relationship; it was off-the-field relationship. So I could definitely say that we've gone through a lot of football and a lot of life together, and within those 2 years, and then just having him being a teammate of Coach Chang's, and they're really close friends. Just having those two guys almost talking about our offense every single day, it brings a lot of ball knowledge to us, and it helps our offense to be really successful.
There's a trivia question coming up a little bit later with Mark as he talks to Coach. But can you do me a favor, Keegan, our technical director? Can you punch up the picture of Coach Kapanui and Micah again real quick? This is so there's a small smile from Chad. Not much, even though you're holding a trophy. And then in this next picture, neither one of you are smiling. I just don't understand. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's normal for us. So we're used to winning up there at Gorman. So those wins really didn't excite us that much. That year we just wanted the national championship. So you probably could see us smiling after the national championship win.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about what you know about Stanford's defense. We're going to get into them a little bit later with Coach Chang, but what do you know?
They're a tough physical team, really disciplined, and, they're going to fight to the whistle. So, we're expecting a long-fought game. They're going to come in, they're just going to come in really disciplined, really physical. So, for us, the key is to just, play our game and take it play by play.
So, as far as your throwing style, you're a lefty.
Yes.
But I've heard that you can throw with your right arm. Is that true? Is that a secret that we shouldn't give out? Darn it.
It's not
Too
a
late.
secret. I can't throw my right.
No?
I don't know who said that.
Somebody told me that you could throw about 20 yards.
I can throw 35 yards, but that's it. That's it.
more than a lot of quarterbacks can do accurately with their regular arm.
You know, if that's the case,
If
yeah.
you
But it can only
need
go. It maybe to the rollout to the right.
Yeah.
If I'm in danger, I might just toss it up there.
Okay.
See what happens, but I'd rather not.
Do you work on anything in the off season as far as scrambling with your speed? Because you did show in that New Mexico game that you can scramble, that there are some skills there in your mobility. Is that something that you work on?
Yeah, it was a big point of emphasis for the quarterbacks and receivers, just spin with worth scramble drill, and we're getting open, go making plays, extending plays. So yeah, that was big for us going in the off season.
This was the Utah State game, and you had a couple of nice throws. I think you really surprised some folks with how well you could run and get out of trouble, and then you had that nice long pass. Brandon White is the guy that kind of replaced DeKel Crowdis in the speed department. There are other guys that are playing on a lower level, at least on the field level. Your thoughts on what you have? Obviously, you talked about your slot backs, but what you have on the outside?
Man, though, Coach Chang said it. They're dangerous. We're really excited to have them showcase what they want. Brandon White, like you said, is replacing DeKel with that speed, but I think Brandon White is gonna, like Coach said, I think the Island's gonna love him after this season. He's gonna do some great things. He's a great kid. First off, he's a great guy off the field, but on the field, he just has that switch to go, and he's ready to activate that switch. I tell you that much. And then you have Carson, homegrown kid. He's so excited to put on for the state. I think it's his senior year, and he's just been waiting to go, and he's ready to go. And then you have Jackson Harris, Dino, and Max. Those guys are going to be great on the outside. So, those 5 guys, really excited for the state to see them, and can't wait to go out there with them on Saturday. I
want to thank you real quick because sometimes we lose the human part of this, but you did something recently for kids. That was for was it Make-A-Wish? When you did the thing at Hyundai?
Oh yeah, it was it was the Children's Miracle Hospital.
That's
Network.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I want to thank you for that because that was just amazing. He did a big thing for the kids out there. And so I want to thank you and say good luck. I hope you
Appreciate
can pull out a win this week for all the Rainbow Warrior fans, and we'll see you real soon.
Thank you so much. See you guys on Saturday. Go
all right. Mark Veneri and Chad Kapanui up next on the Timmy Chang Show.
This is the Timmy Chang Show, presented by ESPN Honolulu, K-High, and KHON2.
Welcome back to the Timmy Chang Show. Our next guest is an all-state player from Roosevelt, a former Rainbow Warrior who was a 2002 Mosi Tutupu Award finalist. He played in the XFL and Arena Football League and started his coaching career at Liberty High School and Bishop Gorman, winning a national championship before coming home to coach quarterbacks for Hawaii. We welcome Coach Chad Kapanui to the show. Let's give a big round of applause for Coach Cops.
Thank you.
Good to have you, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Well, first and foremost, how is it to be back home? Like, what was the first thing you did when you got back home?
Well, the first thing I did is actually went right to the school. And actually the first day they actually was at a golf tournament. So I was all by myself at the school. So that was probably one of the funniest things ever. But the next thing was trying to find a place to go eat.
Well, first, Coach, I mean, obviously it's good to have you back, former Rainbow Warrior. But really for yourself, what did it mean to get that phone call, and what did it mean to come back home to coach in the 808?
It was always kind of a dream of mine just to coach Division I. And, just getting the call from Coach Chang, telling me that he's trying to bring me home. And, I was very excited. Even Micah, he being here at this time, it was kind of even more exciting that I can coach him too at the same time. So just getting the opportunity to be coaching Division I football, it's blessing. You can't beat being at home too in Hawaii.
And what was that conversation like with Coach Chang when he said, "Hey, Coach, I want you to come back home"? What was that like? I know it probably was an honor for you to come back home and get that and receive that call from him.
No, I think it just kind of made more sense, at that time. Just get to coach my own quarterback that I coach in high school, and having a good relationship. When you coach quarterbacks, you got to have that relationship with your players, and I think he's seen something that I did the past couple of years. We won a national title together. And, for me to come in here and get to coach him at the same time, I think that's what he kind of seen in the same way.
Well, give us your thoughts, by the way. Speaking of Micah, give us your thoughts on Micah as a quarterback. And, you coming back home, one of the main things, obviously, is coaching, Micah Alejado, a very special quarterback. Give us your thoughts on him.
Well, first of all, Micah is kind of a different quarterback. I think Coach Chang mentioned it earlier. You know, he's just so different in many ways as a quarterback. Has a high IQ. He has that he's very accurate throwing. I think he's a great leader. You know, and just for me to see the maturity that he had in the past year, you know, it just amazed me so far. Just because I get to work with him now and seeing all the things that he learned throughout the year before I got here. You can see that they had good coaches around, and I know Coach Chang had a big part of it. And I'm just excited to join in and join the team.
And what's the maturation process been like for Micah as he's made his way from Bishop Gorman? Obviously, the standards at Bishop Gorman, very high, national championships. It's kind of the standard over there.
Yes.
To see him develop into the quarterback that he is now at the University of Hawaii, was it a surprise? I don't think it was much as a surprise to a lot of people out there that he went out and did what he did.
You know, people that know him actually know that everything he did that last game, you know, it's normal to us to see, you know, and I can't even mention to people, as good as he practices, he actually played better in the games. And that's kind of exciting to see because he's been doing very well so far in his whole spring and the summer.
And talk about some of, I mean, obviously you have a special kid in Micah Alejado, but you have Weaver and you also have DeMarcus as well. Talk about the other quarterbacks in the room as well.
You know, that group is very special. They're very close. They hang out a lot. I think they're probably the one closest room throughout the team. You know, every time I see one of them, they're all together. Not only on the field, but off the field too. So they always hang out. They always eat dinner multiple times. And I think that for Micah being that leader and bringing them along too and taking them out and, you know, kind of sharing it with them because all of them is pretty much from the mainland. You know, so even though Micah was living there, he kind of just brought them in and then basically take them all around on the islands.
And kind of a full circle moment. It's been 20 years. I didn't want to put you on the spot, but it's been 20 years since you've been back home. You had Coach Morrison, you had Coach June Jones, and now you have your friend and longtime teammate, Coach Timmy Chang. And now you're taking all that you've learned over the years and bringing it into the quarterback room.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean to you?
You know, first of all, I'm just forever grateful for, you know, Timmy just giving me an opportunity. But, you know, just having that title as being a quarterback coach, you know, it's a big thing, you know, especially in Hawaii. The quarterbacks in this run and shoot offense, you know, it's a big thing. And, you know, I just got to make sure I try to get these guys as prepared as much and they're ready to go every Saturday.
Well, speaking of this, you see, he's laughing already, everybody. You've seen this on the screen because now there's a bit of trivia with Coach Kapanui. Did you know that Coach Kops is the only player to throw 3 touchdowns without playing down at quarterback? Coach, can you explain that?
You know, I was recruited as an athlete here, and actually I was playing running back for that clip you just showed.
We gotta send that clip again. I gotta see that again.
It was against Fresno State, and I remember that week Coach Jones actually put me at running back to run this trick play, and I didn't know he was going to call it, but he did call it, and, you know, just right here. His coach, Sean Withy Allen, he pitched it to me, and I threw up to Ashley Laley for a touchdown. And Ashley made it easy for me, though.
In that game, Fresno State came in nationally ranked.
I think they were ranked number 7 in the country at that time.
And I believe Derek Carr was the quarterback, right?
David Carr.
David Carr, the brother of Derek Carr. Yes.
He was the number 1 draft pick that year, too.
What does it mean for you and seeing these guys, not only, you know, the H, the green H in top of trim, as we all say, and now you're the coach of this, and seeing all of this develop and what Timmy's trying to do and bringing the brotherhood. How excited for this year in particular for this group of guys heading into 2025?
You know, just kind of seeing over the years, you know, because anytime you move in the mainland, you always support your alumni, and watching Coach Timmy and his team go, you know, I always texted him, wish him good luck with the other coaches that I played with, but, you know, just seeing the growth and then, you know, coming here and seeing like how good these guys are getting. And I'm telling you, just kind of what Micah said, like they've been putting in a lot of work in the spring and in the summer. These guys they're working hard and they're ready to go and they're prepared.
Real quickly, Coach, tell us a little bit about Stanford. I know you can't give or divulge too much, but looking ahead to Stanford on Saturday, what do they bring to the table?
No, you know one thing about Stanford, they're always going to be smart. They do a lot of things right. They don't do much penalties. They're very strong, physical, you know, fast in the DBs. They have a lot of DBs out there that played last year. So they got a veteran team, you know, and especially the D-line, they're heavy with seniors. So we can see that they'll be bringing it to us. But I know that us coaches kind of got us prepared. and ready to go for Saturday.
Your expectation for this season, if you could summarize, what would be the ultimate goal for this team in particular?
I think the ultimate goal first is just being 1-0. You know, just basically take care of business on Saturday, and just basically for everyone, we have a mission mindset that Coach Brown kind of pushed this year. I think with the mission mindset, every single week we can meet all of our goals actually. So, all of my goal, I think our goals as the whole team, is just try to take one game at a time, and just prepare as much as we can just to be successful.
I'm pumped, man. I mean, how pumped are you? Like, I mean, really, if there's a word to describe how pumped you are, what would it be?
Like they were saying, I'm just excited. So I think I would say just more excited. I would say just excited in general. This morning we had Coach Brown talking to us, and when he was talking, I wanted to play already. So anytime you see
that's my
teammate,
pregame tradition, by the way.
Oh, really?
I go down on the field and I have to listen to Coach Brown talk right before the game.
No, he does a good job in getting us all hyped and pumped, and just kind of listening to him. And I'm like staring at him like that's my teammate, but in a way that I wanted to play.
You want to suit up, right?
I was pumped, and then the energy kind of just transferred right into our practice.
Good luck this weekend, Coach, against Stanford.
Appreciate it.
Coach Chad Kapanui, round of applause for him, everybody. We will see him against Stanford. Coming up next, John and Timmy will be back on set. This is the Timmy Chang Show.
This is the Timmy Chang Show, presented by ESPN Honolulu, K-High, and KHON2.
All right, back here at Ruby Tuesday. Mahalo to Rick Nakashima, owner of Ruby Tuesday. And the set feels way smaller with him here, huh?
Thanks. Wait, before we go into the segment,
go ahead.
I just want to give a shout out to John real quick. This is year number 30 for him. So I got to give him a big round of applause. Big brother, doing it for a long time. So shout out to Johnny right here.
Thanks. I feel super old now.
Thought I'd give you some love.
You know what? This is the only team I cheer for. And like you played at UH, and Mark's been cheering for UH. This is the only team a lot of us cheer for. Yes. Yeah. I don't have an NFL team. I just cheer for the local guys. So
no doubt.
I'm super honored to be able to be your broadcaster, my friend.
No, it's me and Chad were talking earlier today about how special it is that you two, the brothers, that brought us get to broadcast, and it's something. It's a Hawaii feel, man.
Yeah.
It's something like this only happens in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I mean, Marky was in the weight room with us and running around, and, and when we were playing, and he was running through the halls with Dad, and so it has a great feel about it, and it's supposed to feel that way.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank
Okay, back to business. Let's do this. They were 3-9 last year. We're talking about the Stanford Cardinal. What do you know about this year's version of Stanford? And let's just start on offense.
Yeah, new quarterback, veteran quarterback, has a lot of experience.
Transferred in from Oregon State.
Sure. And then you have to go to the coaching. With Andrew Luck coming there, it brings a different dynamic than what they were with Troy Taylor, and so you got to think big running game as they were during the Orange Bowl year runs, these years 2009 to 2011, and what they brought. He brought his head coach in from Indianapolis as a quarterback coach while he's there, and they worked together, and then he kept the whole staff, and so just some of their guys, their tight end room is really special. They have a veteran group up front. Quarterback is new. Their running back room, I believe they're really high on, and they got some hogs in there that can go, and then on top of that, you got to go cover the receivers, and so it's they're shaping out to be, as they're finding their way in 3-9. You got to expect a winner like Andrew Luck to come in there and start off with a foundation and build from there.
For those that don't know, Andrew Luck, the former Colts quarterback, is now the GM and is trying to change the culture at Stanford. He's trying to rebuild that program, almost seemingly from the ground up.
Yeah, a move like that, it says volumes. You go back to a veteran guy that knows what it looks like, has a feel for what that proud tradition was, especially the years that he was there, and then and was successful. And so I think they go on and try to repeat what they've accomplished in the past. Pretty similar to what we're doing, what we're doing here.
Yep.
And I think, Coach, it kind of plays into the strength too, being that Hawaii was in the top 5 in the Mountain West in rush defense. At one point in time, top 25 in the country in rush defense. I'm sure the guys will be excited to at least get their feet wet when the run game comes.
Yeah, we're a physical football team, and that's what Hawaii has always been. So we pride ourselves in being physical and stopping the run, and so that's been good for us.
So let's talk about this real quick, because there is a couple of Polynesian players on Stanford, but one from Punahou. Mm-hmm. His name is Tavarua Tafiti. Let's hear from him real quick.
Good morning, Teva. Just want to get your thoughts on Hawaii. Just how excited you are to start the season and to start it in Hawaii. Yeah, which I believe you are from. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to go home, play in front of my family. But the thing that I'm most excited is just to play with the guys. It's our first game. We've been going against each other the whole fall camp, so I'm pretty sure a lot of guys are getting tired of playing with each other, and so we're ready to play in Hawaii.
He's looking forward to coming back and playing with his home crowd there, or his family, his friends. It's always a big deal for one local boy who goes away and comes back and plays against the home team.
Yeah, Hawaii boy. I remember recruiting him when I was in Nevada from the 96797 Waipahu. And so he's a good kid, and he's playing at a high level. Now a veteran within their defense and their defensive front, and I think their defense is pretty. That whole defensive line, I think, is really experienced. As you look at their depth chart, they're an experienced group. They're all coming back, and so I think it starts up there with their defense, and then to the back end, Washington, number 6, has been a really good player for them as well.
Good point.
And I was going to say, Coach, with Tavarua Tafiti, he comes off of that edge, if I'm not mistaken, right? Edge player. But a little with him in particular, he was actually a 4.0 Dean's List guy, super smart, out of Punahou High School, but also kind of gave you some fits a couple of years back as well, coming off that edge. Do you expect a lot of pass rush this weekend from them?
Yeah, I think they're gonna bring pressure. Yeah, and they'll do some things up front that try to disrupt our passing game, try to get to Micah, throw Micah off of his spot, and so it's all part of football. And for us, it's about blocking that front. And so the challenges to the offensive line is that they're playing against probably the most experienced group that they're going to go against all year in week 1 or week 0, and so. We have our challenge, and we have our work cut off for us.
Let's read a text message. Go ahead, Mark.
If Mike, let's see. Let's go down
that one's
here.
A good one.
That one's or they want to. I mean,
go ahead.
Okay,
We're
Coach.
fighting
I think that's
already.
a good one. I think this one's good. How much money did you guys raise this past weekend at the Brotherhood Ball?
I don't know. Okay.
Still tallying it up.
Okay.
I have a head coach, and that's my wife Sherry, and she would know more than I would on that.
Okay.
On that matter.
But it was a good turnout.
It was a great turnout. That's 3.5 years in the making of all the support, all the groundwork that has been done within our community, and people are very, very supportive of our University of Hawaii football program, our team, Hawaii's team.
We got another question. I know Micah's right in the corner over there.
So is his parents, so this is a great question.
And I'm going to answer the question for him, too, as well. So if Micah has the season, we hope he has, how do we keep him in Hawaii? He's staying for 4 years. You guys don't have anything to worry about, right, Coach?
No, I mean, it's, for Micah, this is, as we talked and we recruited Micah for a long time, okay? This goes back to when I was at Nevada, but, it's always been a plan for him to be here. And for him, just like how I wanted when I made a decision when I was 18, this is life. You're thinking about a long-term life after football deal. And so, it's going to take the whole community to really keep Micah here in Hawaii, because we want a quarterback like this here. And I said it to guys before, like, if you knew you had a guy like Cole Brennan before you knew it was Cole Brennan, what would we do to keep him here in this time and day and age? And so, I love everything about the kid. He's a difference maker, and he's what you want your program and your foundation to be set on.
Okay. One more real quick one.
Coach, is there any way of renewing the rivalry with BYU? I think you would draw a lot of interest, you against Kalani Sitake. Also, what you think of the new Aloha Stadium and what's been transpiring.
Real quick, sorry.
Okay, I think BYU is a great game for us.
Yeah.
Right. I think it is. I go to Fresno State. This is the last time we get to play them before they head to another conference. And so I love those type of games. And then the stadium. I love that it's getting done. let's just keep moving forward, and it's a great deal, right? And there's a lot of great people behind the scenes working on it. Stanford Carr and his group, as well as Brandon Morioka and Stadium Authority and the governor, and so it's really exciting.
I'll say this. There will be more than 22,500 people that want to see that game. Just saying.
Yeah, I think we're heading in the right direction, and that's all great. And so, it's happening, but we're at Clarence T.C. Chang, and we're excited to get all our fans in there this Saturday. And so, come out for the Whiteout August 23rd, baby.
Back with more on the Timmy Chang Show in just a moment.
This is the Timmy Chang Show, presented by ESPN Honolulu, K-High, and KHON2.
All right, welcome back to Ruby Tuesday. Final segment. We're going to give that away in just a moment. Just, Coach, though, real quick, your final thoughts. Just what's coming up. Whiteout.
Yeah, Whiteout. There's we got tailgating up there on Upper Campus. We're going to get parked up there. We're going to walk through. That's a new tradition for us.
That's happening, I think, at 11. Yes?
Yeah, I believe so.
You guys walking through?
11:15-ish around there.
Somewhere
so
around
by
there.
about
Okay.
11:15. Yeah,
Okay.
we usually get to the game about 2 hours and 15 minutes before is when we arrive. And so you get to see our guys. You get to get a tailgating experience. Our Upper Campus is beautiful. We have one of the most beautiful campuses in the country. And so excited for that. And then just really, the guys are excited, man. I mean, you should have seen them today at practice. They're flying around, dancing around, had a lot of energy. You asked Rob DeMello, and he was there. He's been there, all 4 weeks. And so, the guys are ready to go. And they got a different feel about them, which I love. We just got to keep them focused, locked in, take one at a time. And here comes Stanford.
1:30 kickoff. We'll do this again on the Wednesday preceding the next home game. But you can catch this broadcast on K-High at 6 p.m. on Thursday and at 8 p.m. on KHON. Time now to give away that Enjoy Snacks basket. You
Sure.
good?
Yeah.
You want to? You hate doing that. Just mix it up good.
Let's just go.
Okay. Ready?
All right, here we go.
All right. Bradley Duvall. Where's Brad? Yeah, he's got the jersey on and everything. The Derek Brandt jersey is that. Awesome. Good stuff. We'll give it to you in just a minute. You hang out there for a second. Okay, that goes to Bradley. He's wearing a nice 87 jersey. We would just want to thank everybody for coming out to Ruby Tuesday. Make sure you join us again. And for those that are at home, come on down because it's drink specials. It's happy hour all night long.
Yeah.
Well, at least until we finish the show. So thanks to Rick Nakashima behind the camera.
Yeah. We love Rick's place over here. Yeah,
Yeah.
come down and visit us.
Absolutely.
Yep.
This is a great place to come down and have some good food and a good time. It's always a good time for the Timmy Chang Show. And again, make sure you join the pregame at 11:30 on ESPN Honolulu. And then, of course, Mark and I will have all the action every weekend for you on ESPN Honolulu and 92.7, 1420 AM. So we got all the action. Okay, that is it for us. We want to say thank you to everybody you see on the bottom of your screen. Those are the people that make this happen. Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Appreciate you.
Go Bows. How about a big hand for Coach Timmy Chang? Yes, sir. And congratulations to Bradley Duvall. Take care, everybody. Drive safe, and we'll see you at the next Timmy Chang Show.